Computers are 30 years old. This isn't Skynet. There's nothing here. There's nothing here!
Oh, they have the internet on computers now.
This is News Talk 1430 WXNT, and you're on the edge of the web with Aaron Sparks.
Thank you, Dan, for that Skynet reference. He's jumping for us. I appreciate that. You're back with Edge of the Web, provided by Site Strategics. We're a local SEO and social media company. We're actually focused on internet marketing for your local and national companies, and we're bringing a lot of information regularly to our audience. We want to educate and help really disseminate and get an understanding about what some concepts are. And a lot of times, we kind of cover the surface of some different cylinders that we talk about with SEO or paid pay-per-click marketing, what have you. But
or blogging.
Or blogging, exactly. But sometimes we do some deep diving, and we're not going to be covering the actual cylinders this week. We're actually going to be talking about something that's pretty important. It's actually kind of very topical right now because there's some buzz in the atmosphere about this. Now, we're talking to Douglas Karr. Let's first introduce our guest. It's Douglas Karr from DK New Media. He's the author of Corporate Blogging for Dummies, which is a great book, and I highly recommend it. Chief blogger and founder of Marketing Technology Blog, and CEO of DK New Media, and a public speaker. And I've heard him speak, and he's fantastic. DK New Media is an inbound marketing agency that works with organizations who wish to leverage online strategies to build inbound marketing efforts using the new media strategies that are out there. I know that's kind of ubiquitous. What encapsulates new media?
It's probably very similar to what you guys are doing for your clients, you know, at the end of the day.
Yep, absolutely. He's an established marketer. He's had 20 years in the industry. He's worked in traditional media and direct marketing. Douglas's career skyrocketed by developing measurable online strategies. Boy, we love that phrase right there because you got to measure it to see whether or not it's successful or not.
Exactly.
So he's been specializing in this for about 10 years. Doug, you want to tell us anything about DK New Media that I haven't brought to light here?
Just it's been a booming. I mean, it's for the. For all the problems out there with the economy, it's been kind of a boom for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of companies have cut back resources, and you guys are. We've talked about it. You're seeing the same exact thing, and so the coupling their internal marketing efforts with an external agency like yours, is cost effective. They can do it for less than the cost of an employee, and so we're seeing tons of growth there because you guys can keep the eye on the ball. You guys can make sure everything's ticking along, I don't want to talk about DK Media. I want to talk about marketing tech blog. That's where it's at. So and that impacts this today. So
absolutely.
I don't want to be in an advertisement for us. You guys are the ones paying the bills around here.
Not a problem. Well, let's talk about something that's really come to light here with blogging, and for companies that haven't begun blogging, we don't want to scare them away here. The point is, blog content is invaluable for search engine optimization, and it's also invaluable for consumer interaction and engagement.
Yes.
Understanding the personality of the company, understanding the values of the company, and we can't stress enough how valuable that is. But there's also some techniques inside of blogging that are very, very useful, and in the atmosphere of almost soundbite perspectives and visual search. And I mean, I hate to say it, but Pinterest is almost emblematic of this. There's so much eye candy that floats and floats and floats, and it's that engagement factor. What actually grabs somebody's attention is always going to be visual before anything else. There is a technique inside of blogging that's called infographics. And what infographics are, they're basically they're a large graphic that encompasses comparable data about a particular topic, some content. Is always packaged in some nice visual interactive elements, but caricatures and what have you that help get the point across of a particular concept and a solution or a comparison and be able to show differences. And there's almost no content that you really put on a page. It's really the graphic itself. The adoption has spread into the commercial sector, and there's many
political.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The White House and Romney are putting out infographics now on a weekly basis.
And they have a smartphone app as well.
Oh,
I noticed.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
which collects all kinds of data.
Yeah, absolutely.
And probably ask for money.
They know where you are and where you are at the voting booth and what lever you're pulling.
Hey, while you're at the ATM.
Donate. There's a lot of larger corporate blogs that are using this graphic content, or what you almost want to call them charticles, right? And that display thought leadership. Okay. Within the industry and bring attention to their website. So it's not a conversation in a page of content where you actually have to lead the user through a logical step. You're visually guiding them through concepts and sometimes some difficult concepts that if you paint that picture, it's so much easier to understand. While some of these can actually be very well done, some can cross the line into almost like an advertorial type of perspective. And that's what we're going to talk about here.
And we tend to push our clients away from those ones. Maybe throw some examples out there. Angie's List is one of our clients. They're doing great infographics now on like summer maintenance for your home or the remodeling jobs that get the most return on investment. It breaks down the house and actually shows, what percentages of budget go where. And then there was a great Facebook one. Facebook put out one, how to publish a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Which literally was a step-by-step, process. We just put one up recently that was, here's a cool little niche one. It was all of the image dimensions for all social media.
You beat me to the punch. I was going to use that as
were you?
sorry.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was, and not that, it wasn't that beautiful or anything, but so usable that I'm sure it spread to every web designer's desktop.
The problem with infographics is it's tough on the printer to actually print those things. But absolutely, it had Facebook dimensions, it had the profile shot, it had Twitter dimensions for different resizable backgrounds, it had Pinterest, it had Google.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it was that benchmark of, all right, there's my stats, there's my dimensions that I need to use.
Yeah.
We did one a while back in the email marketing industry. A new standard came out called DMARC, and it was basically how it's basically, and I'm going to totally screw up the definition, but kind of a blacklist, whitelist of internet providers, so that you could find spammers and block them easier if you're an internet service provider.
Very interesting.
And so we did one, for DMARC that was basically just explain the process, explained how your email's routed. And it's a difficult process, it's all these back-end files and sharing and all this stuff. So the graphical, interface just explained it in 2 seconds or less.
It's almost like taking your whiteboard that you would use and explaining something, and then putting a little bit of style and some graphic pizzazz there.
Yes.
And what you come away with is something that's striking, and the value there goes a mile wide because it's versatile. There's a lot of different places you can use it, but you can also leverage that artwork into PowerPoint presentations like you were talking about, and case studies and white papers, and it's got a heck of a lot more longevity than a piece of blog content.
Yeah. Oftentimes they, a lot of times we recirculate them too. 6 months later, we'll go out and put it on social, media again, and it'll make another round of all the people that didn't see it the first time. So
that's fantastic.
That's a really great.
Very cool. Well, we talked a little bit, Doug, about this, and I want to get down to the punch here. Is that more and more, especially with the Penguin update, we're seeing that online marketers, like you said, they have to start doing their job now. Marketing firms have to do their job. Not to pull any punches here, but it used to be that really you could game the system for online optimization for search, and you could bot social media, and the time is coming where, guess what, you really have to do the work. You have to create the graphics and create the content.
And it's not just that. This thing, you used to be able to set it and forget it, and now it's just such a live beast. It takes attention all the time.
Yeah, it really does.
Hats off to Google, right? I think they finally recognize that the SEO industry, half of those guys, and you guys know because you do integrated marketing strategies. Half the SEO industry doesn't, right?
Right, absolutely.
There's a dark half of the SEO industry. You go search for paid backlink, and
Right.
you'll find 4,000 different companies that'll put stuff out there, which is a violation of Google's terms of service.
Correct.
And so I think Google finally saw that this, I think it's a $15 billion industry or something like that, or a $5 billion industry, I think, and expected, I think, by 2017 to be like a $15 billion industry. I think Google started to see, these are big numbers, and companies are now, tempted to game it. And so they did. And so if you could get to the number one ranking and really get a lot more conversions to your site, it was well worthwhile to cheat.
The ROI was there. Yeah.
So now with, Penguin Update that you guys talked about, go check it out on YouTube. With Penguin now taking these social cues, that's something that you can't cheat. I can't take and put a group of relevant authorities across the sphere of, let's say internet marketing and get them to retweet, and share my stories. I can't game that.
No.
And so I love this. I feel like
it's real organic.
I feel like we're going back to the original days of blogging, 8 years ago, where if you wrote something great or created something great, and infographics are like that, that people will share it, people will talk about it, and then, that ranking will come. So.
That's right. And this is a bit of an odd term, but it's still relevant. I mean, link bait, the concept of putting something out there that is linkable. So it's not really, there's no bait and switch. It's content that is true, is good, and people are bookmarking it.
Right.
They're linking to it, and they're also with infographics. You can actually allow embed code so people can pick that up and put it on their own website.
Yeah.
Here's my question, Doug. Being SEO, we look for content, we look for keywords and phrases. Are you worried about that content being lost in an infographic, and how you find that content in an infographic when you go back and search for those infographics?
Well, when we publish infographics, we tend to put a short blurb with it.
Right.
So we work on a good title. We do work on, maybe 150 to 200 word blog post that accompanies it. And we might just talk about a little bit more about tactically why a marketer might want to use this infographic, or why it might be an important one. We might give some background to the industry, dollars and cents. So we definitely don't just, I've seen people do it where they just print they just post the infographic without anything. I'm not sure that that's a good move. I think that tends to make a very light page when it comes to all you're gonna have is an alt tag on the image and a title. I think that's you're asking for trouble there. So we tend to do a post with it.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what? We're not matching apples to apples on a blog article being found by search relevancy, because what you're doing is you put a little bit of wrapper or some bubble wrapping of content, but the links that are actually going back are amping up that page, so your equalizer bar is way high on links for that page, so the search viability of that is going to be there. And putting a little bit of content around that just going to kind of grease the wheels there.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. Matt, well, you know what? We're going to actually take a break real quick. We're going to be talking about Matt Cutts and what he talks about infographics as we're coming back here. Matt Cutts from Google. You got to pay attention. This is News Talk 1430 WXNT. Talk to you real soon.